Cars Tour regular Mini Tyrell had some harsh words for both Stacy Puryear and Connor Jones after he was forced to retire after he was involved in an accident with the two early on in the Cars Tour race at South Boston Speedway this Saturday. Let's take a look first at the accident here and what caused Mini Tyrell to retire. He gets some massive front end damage here. I'm guessing it's probably some kind of radiator issue that caused him to retire. We don't really know exactly what caused him to retire. We just know he had significant front end damage and he did not continue on the race, whereas Connor Jones and Stacy Puryear had almost no damage and have continued racing. So let's take a look at this right here. You see Stacy Puryear dives to the bottom of Connor Jones, gets into the rear there, sends him up the track a little bit. Connor Jones comes back down, gets back on his line. Stacy Puryear's on his line, gets into Connor Jones. Jones comes down on Puryear, spins him out. Puryear is spun out into the head first into the wall, and Mini Tyrell has absolutely nowhere to go. Just pile drives into Puryear's spinning car right in front of him. You can see the front end damage there as they go by on that speed shot. Here's another look at it right here. Again, Puryear into the left rear quarter panel of Connor Jones, gets him up the track a little bit. They're racing again through the corner. Obviously, this has been slowed down a little bit. They get into each other again right here. Puryear comes up into Connor Jones. I think then Connor Jones kind of comes down into Puryear, gets him sideways, and then Mini has absolutely nowhere to go and just T-bones him. And massive, massive damage to the front end of Mini Tyrell's car. So let's take a look at what Mini Tyrell had to say after this accident. He had some very, very strong words for both Stacy Puryear and Connor Jones.
Mini obviously got caught in that wreck there. Walk me through what happened between you and Stacy.
I don't know. I mean, I raced with the guy at Dominion earlier this year, and super slow in front of me, and I moved him one time, and then he goes under caution and tries to tear my nose off. So clearly he wasn't happy about that and decides to use me up. I mean, we're only on like lap 10. And then him and a kid that wrecked about everybody in Tri-County is going after it and then just hooks him into the wall. I mean, it's really sad that you got such a professional racing series and you're out there racing against children and the guy's, 65 years old. But I don't know, I mean, he doesn't belong in a race car, neither does the kid in the 44 car. So it's unfortunate, but, we'll be professionals and we'll take our car and move on to Tri-County.
Those are some really strong words from Mini Tyrell. He's usually quite soft-spoken. I've actually talked to him in person at Dominion Raceway. A very good young kid, always trying to do something to help out the community and using racing to do that. Has his own charity. So it's really surprising to hear him kind of really call out both Connor Jones and Stacy Puryear. Clearly, he has some beef going back with Stacy Puryear back to a race at Dominion Raceway, he points out. And obviously, there was some contact between Stacy and Mini Tyrell earlier before this incident, as Mini was talking about there, where Stacy kind of got into him and saying that Stacy was holding a grudge from Dominion. But then he obviously blames Connor Jones for kind of getting into Stacy there and wrecking him, and then obviously Mini being the guy who's kind of just nowhere to go and is the odd guy out, and he's the one who's ending up retiring. But then he decides to call them both children, and even though he describes Stacy as what he assumes is a 6-year-old, I'm not really sure how Stacy Puryear is, but you get the insult there. So I'm actually really surprised to hear this from Mini Tyrell. I'm wondering if he will maybe apologize to both Connor Jones and Stacy Puryear later after this race for those comments, or at least talk to them, or if he'll maybe have some regret or something like that. We'll see, because I do feel like that's a little bit out of character, but I also see, hey, man, this guy's, we're like 10 laps into this race, and he's already out because they're racing really, really hard and looking really stupid as well with that race there. So, and I definitely understand why he would be frustrated, because he's the guy that wasn't really doing anything. He got caught up in their mess. They're still out there racing, and he's parked in the pits. But let me know what you make of Mini Tyrell's comments about Connor Jones and Stacy Puryear.